welcome to Little Creek Park here in South Charleston, as this morning we bring you the opening round of the Girls Class AAA Softball Tournament. Hello everybody, I'm Maris Lowry and glad you're watching here on the National High School Federation and Video Production Network, as this is a double elimination tournament. The first game is a game between John Marshall and St. Albans. John Marshall enters the game 23-6, taking on St. Albans, who's had a tremendous year at 30-1. The other two teams in the AAA Girls Softball Tournament is Washington and Cabell Midland. So it's a double elimination format as we get ready for the first game of the 2021 Class AAA Girls State Softball Tournament. So we'll be underway here momentarily, as it'll be John Marshall against St. Albans. St. Albans will be the home team. St. Albans will be wearing the red uniforms, as John Marshall now being introduced. They're in gray, tan, and white, and we're moments away from getting this 2021 Girls Class AAA Softball Tournament underway. Over cloudy skies, we had a lot of rain in the Charleston area yesterday afternoon and most of the morning. This game has been delayed by an hour. It originally scheduled to start at 9:45, but because of the rain, 10:45, as I mentioned, a little overcast morning here in South Charleston. And it's a good thing that the fields are turf, because with all the rain between yesterday and this morning, had it been natural grass, they may not even been able to play at all today. So we're just a few minutes away from getting this first game started, and we're looking forward to it. John Marshall, as I mentioned, enters the game 23-6. St. Albans 30-1. So these two teams, of course, have not met during the regular season. St. Albans in Kanawha County and John Marshall from the Northern Panhandle. So we've got a nice crowd settling in out in the outfield, down the lines here at Little Creek Park. This is a beautiful facility here in South Charleston. So John Marshall has been introduced, and now we'll have the introduction of the St. Albans players. We'll have the playing of the national anthem, and we'll be ready for the first pitch here in the next few minutes. But they got three fields here. It's a beautiful facility. They got all three classes and games, single, double, and this AAA all going on at the same time. And like I said, it's a double elimination format. So hopefully we won't get any rain. We'll be able to get through today, and then we'll be able to crown a champion sometime tomorrow in each of the three classes. I'd say for a lot of the players, they probably might prefer, maybe not as cool as it is, but maybe a little overcast. You don't want that beaming hot sun that you think maybe this time of year you would get. But it feels more like fall out there than it does actual summer, with yesterday being the first day of summer. As I mentioned, St. Albans, they'll be wearing black uniforms trimmed in red and in white as they're being introduced. And like I said, momentarily we'll be getting the game underway between the two teams. While we got a minute, I want to tell you about the West Virginia teens are changing the game. The West Virginia Game Changers is an innovative design to educate and support and empower our youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be our leaders of tomorrow. The West Virginia Game Changers. We'll have, of course, 4 umpires. Regular season they use 2, and here for the state championships they'll have 4, of course, a home plate umpire, and then 3 on the bases. So we'll be having the playing of the national anthem, and we are ready to go to a break as you are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament here on the National High School Federation Network and Video Productions.
first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
And we welcome you back to Little Creek Park in South Charleston, the opening round of this Class AAA Girls State Softball Tournament, double elimination. St. Albans will be the home team. They've taken the field. And for John Marshall, their batting order will look like this. The top of the order will be Ava Blake, Shelby Kuntz, and Dory Kynes. And then the middle of the order, 4, 5, and 6, will be Katrina Pettit, Tessa Wise, and A.C. Cumbridge. And then the bottom half of the order will be Sophia Atkins, Megan Doherty, and Peyton Tucker. So we're ready to get the game underway. It's a 7-inning game.
Are you okay in your ear? I turned this on.
St. Albans is going through their final warm-up pitches. On the mound for the Red Dragons
You turn it to the right or left?
will be Tavon Stevenson. So we are ready to go. Stepping in will be the shortstop, will be Ava Blake. She's hitting .344 with 2 home runs. So she'll hit on the right side of the plate. There's plenty of foul ground down the line, down the right field line and down the left field line. And we are ready to go. She hits from the right-hand side of the plate, and we're set.
No, I'm talking about the zoom.
And the first pitch of the ball game is a called strike. 0-1 the count to Ava Blake. Batting .344. She's hit 2 home runs, playing shortstop for John Marshall. Ready? The 0-1 pitch. And that's over for a called strike. 0-2 now the count. So no balls, 2 strikes to Ava Blake. Shelby Kuntz waits to hit on deck. And the 0-2 delivery. And that'll be a little low for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Blake digs in, hits from the right-hand side of the plate. And here comes the 1-2 offering, and that's high and outside. Count evens at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be Blake, Kuntz, and Kins to lead off here in the top of the first inning for the Monarchs. And the 2-2 pitch is called strike 3. So Blake is caught looking for the first out of the ball game. And it'll be Shelby Kuntz hitting .269 for John Marshall. She hits from the right-hand side of the plate, plays second base. And the pitch, and that's outside for ball 1. I actually beg your pardon, on the corner for a called strike. So 0-1 the count. The 0-1 delivery, swung on, comebacker right to the pitcher. An easy play with the toss to first, and there are 2 up and 2 down. So with 2 out and nobody aboard, the John Marshall first baseman, Dory Kins, will be the hitter, batting .357. She'll dig in from the right-hand side of the plate. And the delivery is inside, low, ball 1. We're at the top of the first inning. Blake struck out, and Kuntz grounded out to the pitcher. So 2 up, 2 down, and it's a 1-0 count to Kins, and this pitch is outside for ball 2. So it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody on. Top of the first inning, no score. St. Albans pitcher ready and delivers the 2-0. And that's a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody aboard. On a very overcast morning here in South Charleston. This pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count will even at 2-2. So it'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody aboard, top of the first inning. On a very, like I mentioned, very overcast morning here at Little Creek Park in South Charleston. And the 2-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning. So the middle of the first inning, it's John Marshall nothing. St. Albans coming to hit. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA softball tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
First set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
We welcome you back to South Charleston. This girls Class AAA first round game. Actually, there are 4 teams. Double elimination is the format. In the top of the first inning, John Marshall went 1-2-3, and now St. Albans will come to bat here in the home half of the first inning. St. Albans 30-1 as they enter this semifinal, and the first 3 hitters will be Kendall Sulfers, Jillian Holly, and Taven Stevenson. Second baseman, catcher, and pitcher for the Lady Red Dragons. So Stoffels will lead things off. She hits from the right-hand side of the plate. And we're ready to go here in the home half of the first inning. First pitch is inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Ready with the 1-0 delivery. And that's high for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff hitter for St. Albans. Stoffel. She hits from the right-hand side of the plate. And here's the 2-0 delivery. And that's over for a called strike. Count goes to 2-1. So 2-1. We're the home half the first inning. No score. And the 2-1 offering is over for a called strike. Count evens at 2-2. The other half of the bracket, as I mentioned earlier, is Cabell, Midland, and Washington. 4-team double elimination format. So 2-2 the count to the St. Albans second baseman, Stoffel. And here comes the 2-2 offering. Swung on and fouled back into the stands. on the first base side. They got two fields here like back-to-back. Would hope that we would not have a foul ball from one field that would end up on the other field. That would be disastrous, I would think. Great facility that they have here. Fields are turf, and we'll do the 2-2 again. And here it comes, and that's outside for ball 3. Counts full, 3-2. So the count is full to the St. Albans leadoff hitter. And we're set for the payoff pitch. The 3-2. And that's ball 4. So the leadoff hitter is aboard for St. Albans on a base on ball. And that will bring Jillian Holly to the plate.
Jillian Holly.
So Holly hits from the right-hand side. Runner at first, nobody out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Holly set. And the pitch to her is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Holly gets set, and she awaits the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. The count evens at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Jillian Holly, the catcher for St. Albans. The Lady Red Dragons have had a tremendous year at 30-1. Counts 1-1 with the runner at first, nobody out, bottom of the first. And the pitch, and that's over for a called strike. Counts 1-2. That was on the outside corner. So the batter Holly in the hole at 1-2. Ready for the 1-2 offering. And the pitch. And that's way outside. The count evens at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Holly hitting from the right-hand side of the plate is awaiting the 2-2 offering, and here it comes, and that's swung on. The ball's hit to the shortstop. The only play is no play. There's no way she was going to get the lead runner at second, and the ball really wasn't hit that hard, and that would be scored, I would think, an infield hit. And St. Albans has got something cooking as they have 2 on and nobody aboard. And we'll take a look at it on replay. As you can see, actually a little bobble there with the ball, but I still think that was a hit. I don't think they were ever going to get the runner at second, and Holly with pretty good speed able to dig down the first baseline, so that will be the first hit of the ball game. And as I mentioned, St. Albans with 2 on, first and second, and nobody out, and Stevenson will be the hitter. And here's the pitch to her, and she squares the bunt, and that's an offering and a called strike. 0-1 the count. So 2 on with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning for the Lady Red Dragons. Stevenson, the pitcher for St. Albans, trying to help her own cause here. And here comes the 0-1-2 where she squares the bunt and fouls. It counts 0-2. Trying to advance the runners up. Yeah. Turned around to square the bunt a little late that time, causing the foul ball. So now let's see if they'll let her swing away. Of course, you know, if you attempt at a bunt and it goes foul on the third strike, it's a strikeout. So let's see what they attempt to do here on the 0-2 pitch. And here it comes. And that's high for ball 1, 1-2. 2 on and nobody out. There's time being called. And here comes the 1-2 offering. And that's outside. The count evens at 2-2. Grace Payne on deck for St. Albans, the cleanup hitter. Count here at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch swung on. That's right back up the middle. That's through for a base hit. The runner will hold at third, and now they're going to send her home. And now they got 2 runners at third. And now the one is definitely going to be out, and one overran. Now they throw it back to first. Maybe they didn't get anybody out. That was a single right up the middle, and at one point, they had 2 girls at third base. I don't know, we have a replay of that, and we can take a look at that, maybe not, but that was kind of a weird play there when the ball was smacked right back up the middle. The umpires are going to get together, but they had 2 girls at third base, and I thought one of them had got tagged. And then the one girl that should be at second ran back to second, but I think she's going to be – one of the 2 girls I think are going to be out. We'll see how they score that. But it was a solid single right back up the middle as the umpires get together and they're going to say, I think everybody's safe. Everybody got back safe. So that'll be the second hit of the inning. As the umpires Virgin, I think, yep.
Watch the ball, not runners. Ball. Keep the ball in your. If you keep the ball in the frame at all times, you're going to be okay. All right.
So waiting for this conference.
I know you don't.
And everybody's going to be safe.
If it goes in the outfield, infield, wherever that ball goes, you follow it. If it goes to the bathroom, you follow it.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out, and the cleanup hitter comes to the dish in Grace Payne. So after a leadoff walk and back-to-back hits, St. Albans has them loaded with nobody out. So Gracie Payne will step up to the dish. St. Albans with a chance to have a really big inning, and the pitch is inside, ball 1. So after a walk, back-to-back singles by the Lady Red Dragons have got the bases juiced with nobody out. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that's hit foul down the third baseline. Count evens at 1-1. So Payne will dig in, count 1-1, bases loaded, nobody out. And here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's on the corner for a called strike. So Payne in the hole at 1-2. And the 1-2 offering. And that's called strike 3. So that's the first out of the inning as Payne strikes out looking. And with 1 out.
Now up to bat for St. Albans, number 12, Jaden Conrad.
So Jaden Conrad will come to the dish. She'll bat with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning and no score. And the pitch inside for a ball.
She struggled to get a first pitch strike.
An opportunity for St. Albans to have a big first inning here. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. Now they had a strikeout. Now the bases loaded and 1 out. And here's the 1-0 pitch. And this swung on. This is hit to the second baseman. They'll come home for the force play there, and the runner is out at home. Not able to turn 2, but they got the lead runner and keep St. Albans off the board. score that a fielder's choice. And with 2 out, the runners are at, the bases are still loaded with 2 out. So Taylor Glancy will be the hitter now. And this would be big if John Marshall could get out of this. And the pitch is swung on. This is a little blooper. It's going to fall for a hit. 1 run is in. The other runner will round third. She'll score with a 2-out RBI single to center field. The ball wasn't hit that hard, but hit hard enough to be able to get into the outfield. And 2 RBIs, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Lady Red Dragons. So St. Albans has put a 2 spot on the board. And still have runners on first and second. And Bailey Gilbert will hitting from the left-hand side of the plate. And pitch is outside, ball 1. So 3 hits in the inning for St. Albans. 3 hits and a base on ball have led to 2 runs for the Lady Red Dragons as they take a 2-0 lead here in the home half of the first inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back. Count even 1-1. That ball had some movement on it. Even though there's a fence protecting where I'm standing calling the game, it still caused me to move. That ball, that reflex, just natural reflex, that ball had some smoke on it when it was fouled back. Count even at 1-1. And here's the 1-1 offering. Swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2. So there's 2 out, 2 on, and 2 in for St. Albans here in this bottom of the first inning. And they lead John Marshall 2-0 in the first of 2 semifinals here this morning on into this afternoon. And the 2-2 pitch, that's high and outside. Count goes full at 3-2. So here's the payoff pitch on its way, and it's outside, ball 4. Or I beg your pardon. That is ball 3. Thought that was ball 4. Now the count is full. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that's swung on and missed, strike 3. And that ends the bottom of the first inning. But St. Albans able to push 2 across. They get 3 hits, and after 1, it is St. Albans 2, John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
St. Albans 2, John Marshall.
Okay. That's fine.
Or just kind of point to balls and strikes. Obviously, you can't talk to me.
And we welcome back to Little Creek Park in South Charleston as we go to the top of the second inning of this Class AAA Girls semifinal. St. Albans pushed 2 runs across in the bottom of the first inning to take a 2-0 lead. So it'll be the middle of the order up for John Marshall. Hitters 4, 5, and 6. Pettit, Wise, and Cumbridge will be the batters here in the top of the second inning for John Marshall. And the first pitch to Pettit is low, ball 1. In fact, could Katrina Pettit, she leads the team with 10 home runs, and she's coming in hitting .529 on the year. So 1-0 the count, and the 1-0 offering, and that is a called strike, 1-1. So St. Albans in their first at bat in the bottom of the first, they pushed 2 runs on 3 hits. And as I mentioned, they lead the game 2-0, as you can see there on your screen. And the pitch swung on. This ball is hit to center field. And very easy play for the center fielder for St. Albans to squeeze it for the first out of the second inning. So 1 out, nobody aboard.
Number 11, Tessa.
And we go to a replay. You can see, you don't have a chance a lot of times in the outfield when the ball, you really barely have to move. The ball just comes right to the young lady in center field and able to squeeze it for the out. So with 1 out, nobody aboard, it'll be Tessa Wise, and she fouls off the first pitch. Fouls it off to the right. 0-1 the count. This is such a beautiful facility. The field all turf, and with all the rain they've had in the South Charleston area between yesterday and today, had it not been turf, they probably wouldn't have been able to play today. Here comes the 0-1 offering, swung on and missed for strike 2. So Tessa Wise is in the hole at 0-2. She bats with the bases empty and 1 out. And here comes the pitch, and that's swung on, and that ball is hit it's a fair ball over the third baseman's head for a single, and that's the first hit of the game for John Marshall. So Wise is aboard with 1 out here in the second inning.
Number 17, AC Cumberland.
So Cumbridge will be the hitter. And the pitch to her is swung on and fouled back. 0-1 the count. There's 1 out. Runner on here in the second inning. And the pitch. And that's outside. Evens the count up, 1-1. And the 1-1 offering. Swung on, a little tapper back to the pitcher. She'll go to get the lead runner at second. They can't turn the double play, but they do get the lead runner. And that'll be a fielder's choice. So it'll be 2 out with a runner at first. And Sophia Atkins will be the hit.
Sophia Atkins.
And we see the replay on this. The ball, nice job by the pitcher, nice comeback. Able to look, and then the ball really wasn't hit hard enough to try to turn to, and able to make sure that they got the lead runner with a throw to second. Here's the pitch to Atkins, and the pitch is low for ball 1. Next pitch swung on and missed. Actually, that first pitch was a strike, I beg your pardon, so now it's 0-2. Sun maybe trying to fight its way maybe a little bit through the clouds. A very overcast morning into the afternoon. The 0-2 pitch is called strike 3, and that's the inning for John Marshall. They got a hit. They leave one middle of the second inning, 2-0 St. Albans, as you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA softball tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
And we welcome you back to the Girls State Softball Tournament here in South Charleston. The Lady Red Dragons with the 2-0 lead as they come to hit here in the bottom half of inning number 2. It'll be the bottom of the order. It'll be Young, Nunley, and Lacey that will lead things off in the bottom third of the order. Sydney Young up, and the first pitch to her is swung on. That ball is hit fair down to the third baseman. A nice scoop and throw, and one pitch and one out. So Young is retired on one pitch. And she grounds out to the third baseman. And Olivia Nunley will now be the batter. Nunley will hit with one out, nobody on. The Lady Red Dragons in front 2-0. Nunley will hit from the right-hand side of the plate. And the pitch is inside corner for a called strike. So here's the replay of that last play. Hitting to the third baseman for John Marshall and able to make the throw across the diamond, record the out. So here's the 0-1 deliver. And the pitch, that is low in the dirt. Now leaving the count at 1-1. Sun there for a minute trying to fight its way through the clouds, and hopefully before the day is over we'll have a little sunshine here. More like a fall morning afternoon here in South Charleston here on this 22nd day of June. More like September 22nd. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swung on. That's a little blooper, and that's going to fall for a base hit to right field. And they try to get her out at first, and the throw is high, and that's going to be a hit and an error, I would imagine. They would score that, no question, a hit. And then on the throw that allowed the runner to go to second would be scored an error. As we'll take a look at it, ball was hit to shallow right field. So that'll be the fourth hit for St. Albans. And then on the error, the throwing error, Nunley able to go to second. So Lacey will be the hitter with one out and a runner at second. And the pitch. Called strike. This is a big sequence in the game. Excuse me. Already down 2-0. You really, if you're John Marshall, really can't afford to give up too much. Don't want to dig too deep of a hole. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on. Actually, I beg your pardon, that's inside. It's 1-1. One ball, one strike, one out, and a runner on. So Lacey hits from the right-hand side of the plate. And the pitch is over for a called strike, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count to Lacey. And here comes the 1-2 offering. And that's called strike 3. So that's the second out of the inning. And we'll go back to the top of the order. And Holly will be the hitter. She got a hit and scored her last time up. And the pitch is ball 1. So with 2 out, runner at second. And the pitch to Holly is outside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Or I beg your pardon, that's 2 balls and no strikes. Holly is 1 for 1, got a hit and scored a run in the last inning, in that 2-run first inning. And the 2-0 delivery. Swung on, and this ball is popped up. Actually, is carrying it out into right field, and the right fielder comes over, makes the catch to end the inning. So St. Albans doesn't score. They leave a runner. They have a hit, and after 2 complete innings, your score is St. Albans 2 and John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions. Welcome you back as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. St. Albans with 2-run lead, leading 2-0, as John Marshall comes to bat here in the top half of the 3rd inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Lady Monarchs of John Marshall. Daugherty, Tucker, and back to the top of the order in Blake. So Megan Daugherty, who's batting .235, will be the hitter, as it's a 2-0 St. Albans lead as John Marshall hits here in the top half of inning number 3. Glad you're with us here on the National High School Federation Network and Video Productions. And the first pitch is outside. Ball 1. The 1-0 delivery. Swung on and fouled back. Count evens at a ball and a strike. The next semifinal will be Cabell Midland and Washington. Then the 3rd game will pit the 2 losers, and the 4th game of the day will pit the 2 winners. The 1-1 offering, that's way outside. For ball 2, 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. So Peyton Tucker's on deck. And the 3-1 pitch. That's a called strike. The count's full now to Megan Daugherty. So the count's gone full to Daugherty. And she leads things off here in the top half of inning number 3. And here comes the payoff pitch, and that's ball 4. And the leadoff man is aboard for John Marshall to start the 3rd inning. So that's the first walk by St. Albans. And now it'll be Tucker, the hitter, for John Marshall. She'll hit from the left-hand side of the plate. And the pitch to her, she squares to bunt, and it's a called strike. So trying to manufacture a run, you get that leadoff runner aboard and trying to advance the runner. Of course, you're talking about the number 9 hitter in the lineup. She squares the bunt, lays down a nice bunt. It's picked up by the pitcher and throws to first for the out. But the sacrifice does work, and they do get a runner in scoring position. So that goes as a sacrifice, not an at bat. And that's the first out of the third inning. And we'll go back to the top of the order, and Blake will now be the hitter. So Ava Blake will be the hitter with 1 out and a runner at second here in the third inning. And a 2-0 St. Albans lead. And the pitch swung on. Ball is hit to the second baseman. Only plays to first. The runner from second will advance, even though there's a throw made over there. So with 2 outs, John Marshall has a runner at third. As Kuntz will be the hitter. Kuntz grounded out to the pitcher. Her first at bat, she's 0 for 1. And if she can deliver here, chance to cut the St. Albans lead in half if she can get a single here. And the pitch is way outside, ball 1. There's one thing about it, there's not a lot of room from the home plate to the backstop. So if the ball got away from the catcher, there's really not that much room for runners to advance. So 1-0 the count to Kuntz, and the 1-0 pitch. That's outside as well. It's 2-0. John Marshall with their best scoring opportunity here. Have a runner at third, 2 outs. And they trail in the game 2-0. And here comes the 2-0 pitch, and that's swung on and fouled back. Count is 2-1. So here comes the 2-1 offering to Kuntz. And that ball bounced to the plate, and that'll be ball 3, 3-1. If Kuntz can keep the inning going, it'll be Dory Kins would hit next. 2 out, runner at third, and the 3-1 offering, and that's way outside, ball 4. So that's the second walk of the inning. And there are runners at first and third now for John Marshall. And Kins will be the hitter. Struck out her first time at bat. She's 0 for 1. But has a chance, perhaps driving a couple of runs here. And the pitch to her is way outside, ball 1. 2 out and 2 on for John Marshall. And they trail in the game 2-0. Kins, here comes the pitch to her. And that's low for ball 2. And ready for the 2-0 pitch. And that's a called strike on the corner. 2-1 the count. Two balls and 1 strike. 2 out, 2 on. Here in the top of the third. And the pitch. Swung on, this ball's hit to the second baseman. They'll flip it over to first, and that will end the inning. So John Marshall threatens, but they don't score. And the middle of the third inning, the score remains St. Albans 2, John Marshall nothing. And you are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions. And we welcome you back to Little Creek Park here in South Charleston. This girls class AAA semifinal. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, St. Albans leading 2-0. West Virginia teens are changing the game. West Virginia Game Changers is an innovative designed to educate, support, and empower our youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be our leaders of tomorrow. As we start the bottom of the third inning, it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters up for St. Albans. Stevenson steps in, and the first pitch to her is a called strike. Stevenson had a hit and scored a run back in the first inning. She was 1 for 1. And here's the 0-1 delivery. And that's inside. Count evens at 1-1. The next game will be Washington from the Eastern Panhandle taking on Cabell Midland. And then, of course, the 2 losers will play, and then the 2 winners will play to cap out the rest of the day and night. And the 1-1 pitch, and that's on the corner for a called strike. Count goes to 1-2. Sun trying to fight its way through the clouds. We had a lot of rain in the Charleston area this morning. The game got pushed back an hour, but I'm glad we're underway and we're in the bottom of the third inning. Here comes the 1-2 offering. And that's a called strike 3. So Stevenson's is caught looking for the first out of the third inning. And it'll be Gracie Payne will be the hitter. She was a strikeout victim back in the first inning.
Number 15, Gracie Payne.
So Payne will bat with 1 out and nobody aboard here in the third inning with St. Albans up 2-0. And here's the pitch. And that's swung on, and that ball is hit to the third baseman. A high throw, but a nice stretch by the young lady over at first base for John Marshall to record the out. Let's see if we may have a replay on that. But you can see that ball hit the third baseman a little high and a nice stretch by the young lady at first base, Kins, over there at first base for John Marshall. So 2 up and 2 down here in the St. Albans third inning. And Jaden Conrad will be the hitter. She reached on a fielder's choice her last time up. And the pitch is a called strike. So 0-1 the count to the St. Albans shortstop, Jaden Conrad. And the pitch, that is high. Count evens at ball and strike. Both of St. Albans' runs came in the first inning. And here comes the 1-1 offering. That swung on, and that ball was hit foul down the third baseline. The count goes to 1-2. So 1-2, and the pitch is on its way, and that's way outside, and the count evens at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out here in the home half of the third inning. And here comes the pitch to Conrad, and that's really inside. The count goes full at 3-2. So we'll have the payoff pitch coming here in the bottom of the third inning, and St. Albans up 2-0. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that is low ball 4. So there's a 2-out walk. Conrad will make her way down to first base. And
number 20,
Taylor Glancy will be the hitter. She's 1 for 1, got a hit back in the first inning. And she'll hit from the right-hand side of the plate. 2 out and a runner on. Got kind of a real open stance there. And here comes the pitch. And that's swung on, and that ball gets through into left field for a base hit. So after there was 2 out, nobody on, now St. Albans has got a couple runners on as they get a base on ball and then a hit by Taylor Glancy. That's her second hit of the ball game.
Now batting number 5, Bailey Gilbert.
That'll be the 5th hit of the game for St. Albans. And Bailey Gilbert, strikeout victim back in the first inning, will now be the batter. With 2 on and 2 out here in the home half of the third. And the pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. The sun trying to fight its way through on what has been a really cloudy morning into the afternoon here in South Charleston. Not quite afternoon yet. And here comes the pitch, and that's outside. Count evens at a ball, a strike. Two out and 2 on for St. Albans, and the Lady Red Dragons have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. Counts at 1 and 2.
Camera on third base side.
So 1 and 2 the count. To the St. Albans center fielder, Bailey Gilbert. And here's the 1-2 offering. And that's swung on. That ball's hit down the left field line. And coming over to make the catch is the left fielder for John Marshall to end the threat. So there's a hit, a couple left, and after 3 full innings of play, it's St. Albans still leading John Marshall by the score of 2-0. You are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA softball tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
3 innings on field B. St. Albans 2, John Marshall 0.
I'll get that one come back.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
As we're getting ready to go to the top of the 4th inning, St. Albans still up in front, 2-0. They put both of those runs across the dish in the first inning, and it'll be the middle of the lineup for John Marshall, the number 4, 5, and 6 hitter, and it'll be Pettit to lead things off. She flied out to center field her first time up. She's 0 for 1, and the pitch to her is outside for ball 1. So we're in the top half of the 4th inning. St. Albans leads in the ball game 2-0. As I mentioned, they pushed both of those runs across the dish back in the first inning. And the pitch to Pettit, this is swung on and fouled back. And the count is 1-1. One ball, one strike to Katrina Pettit. leads the team in home runs with 10. And the 1-1 pitch to her swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. Pettit not only leads the team in home runs, but she has the highest batting average on the team at 529. And she's in the hole at 1-2. And the 1-2 offering is swung on. This ball is hit out into the outfield and out into right center, and the center fielder comes over in front of the right fielder to squeeze it to make the catch. That was a nice play for the first out of the inning. As we take a look at the replay,
Number 11, Tessa.
center fielder ran a long way and got right there in front of the right fielder, but able to make the play for the first out of the fourth inning. So that'll bring Wise to the dish. Wise is 1 for 1. Got a hit back in the second inning as the first pitch to her is ball 1. Tessa Wise, the John Marshall third baseman. Next pitch outside, ball 2. John Marshall had one real good scoring chance in the game, but that's been it. They really haven't been able to muster much offense. And the pitch is inside for ball 3. Tessa Wise batting .452. And she's ahead in the count at 3-0, and here comes the 3-0 pitch. She's taken all the way, and that's a called strike. 3-1 the count. So getting ahead in the count, that's how you get to be a .452 hitter. And see if she can set on the pitch she's looking for here. And here comes the 3-1 offering. That's swung on, and that's hit the center field. That's going to stay up, and it's going to be able to be caught by the center fielder for St. Albans. So 2 up and 2 down here in the John Marshall fourth inning. And with 2 out and nobody aboard, it'll be A.C. Cumbridge will be the hitter. She reached on a fielder's choice her last at bat.
John Marshall, number 17, A.C. Cumberland.
As we watch the replay there of, again, another fly ball hitting the outfield. Really haven't had any, as this first pitch is outside, we really haven't had any, beg your pardon, on the outside corner for a called strike. But we really haven't had any really balls hit really deep to the outfield. Nothing in the gap as this next pitch is inside for 1-1. Nothing in the gap, nothing off the wall by either team. Of course, they've only had 2 runs in the ball game. As John Marshall batting with 2 out, nobody aboard in the fourth inning. There's a called strike. So 1-2 the count here on Cumbridge. And this pitch will be inside. The count will even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here's the 2-2 pitch on its way. And that's swung on. That ball's a little tapper hit to the shortstop, makes the play, and that's the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning. So in the middle of the fourth, your score still remains St. Albans 2 and John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions. I will get that in. That inning went so fast. Welcome you back as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for St. Albans. They lead 2-0, and the first pitch will be ball 1 to Sydney Young. She grounded out to the third baseman her only other time at the dish. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game. And here comes the 1-0 offering. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. Count evens at a ball and a strike. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. St. Albans pushed both of their runs across in the first inning. We haven't had any scoring since then. And it's a 2-0 St. Albans lead. And the pitch, that's way high. 2 balls and a strike to Young. It'll be Young, Nunley, 8, 9, and then back to the top of the order for Stoffel. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Young. And that's swung on and fouled back. And that actually might have made it to the other field. There's not but about maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 feet, maybe not even 10 feet. Yeah. From 1 foot to the next. I mean, from one fence to the next may not be, I don't know, might be 20 feet, maybe. So counts 2-2, and the 2-2 to Young on its way. And that'll be inside. The count goes full at 3-2. I mean,
my camera guy just got here a while ago.
So here comes the payoff pitch to the St. Albans right fielder, Sydney Young. And the 3-2 on its way, and that's outside. No, they're going to call strike 3. That looked a little outside, but maybe she offered at it. Nevertheless, it goes as a strikeout, and that's the first out of the St. Albans fourth inning. And Olivia Nunley will now be the hitter. Nunley got a hitter last time up. She's 1 for 1 in the ball game. She'll bat with 1 out, nobody on here in the fourth inning. And this ball is popped up, second baseman, easy play, and that's the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down for St. Albans, and we'll go back to the top of the lineup. Kendall Stoffel will be the hit.
Number 13, Kendall Stoffel.
Beg your pardon, Stoffel will be the batter. She reached on a walk in the first inning and struck out in the second. She'll bat with 2 out and nobody on. And pitch is way outside, ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1 offering to Stoffel. With 2 out and nobody on here in the home half of the fourth inning. That pitch is outside, goes to 2-1. And here comes the 2-1 offering. Swung on, the ball's hit to the second baseman, picks it up, flips it to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Marshall getting St. Albans out. We've gone 4 complete innings, still a 2-0 St. Albans lead. As you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
We welcome you back in as we head to the 5th inning here at Little Creek Park in South Charleston. Semifinal game number 1 in this Class AAA Girls Softball Tournament. We appreciate you checking it out, watching it, the live streaming on the NFHS Network and Video Productions. As the first pitch is ball 1, it'll be the bottom third of the lineup for John Marshall. Atkins, Doherty, and Tucker, and Sophia Atkins struck out back in the 2nd inning, and the pitch is ball 1. The next pitch to her, and that's over for a called strike count, evens at 1-1. St. Albans got 2 runs in the 1st inning, and that's where we're at, 2-0. The pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2. You know, you're thinking that running out of time for John Marshall, trying to be able to, you need base runners. As the pitch is swung on and that ball is hit, nice job by the second baseman to glove it, flip it over to first for the out. Real nice play for out number 1 of the 5th inning. As we watch the replay, nice job by the St. Albans second baseman. Get her body in front of the ball, knock it down, make the play, throw it to first to retire the hitter. So 1 out, nobody aboard. And it'll be Megan Doherty will be the hitter. She reached on a walk back in the 3rd inning. And the pitch is outside. So she'll bat with 1 out, nobody aboard as we are in the top of the 5th inning. 7-inning game. A 2-0 St. Albans lead, pushing both of those runs across in the 1st inning. This ball's hit right to the second baseman. Easy routine play. Picks it up, flips it to the first baseman, and just like that, 2 up and 2 down. It'll be Tucker will be the hitter. Peyton Tucker. But this is a routine play, as you see here on the replay. Easy play for the second baseman. As Tucker sacrificed her last time up, and she swings and fouls the first pitch right here. So 0-1 the count to Peyton Tucker. And the pitch is swung on, and that's fouled down the third baseline, so she's in the hole at 0-2. With 2 out, nobody aboard. St. Albans leading, as you can see there on your screen, 2-0. Here in the top of the 5th inning. And the 0-2 offering. And that's just a little outside. The count goes to 1-2. Cabell, Midland, and Washington will be the second semifinal here in Class AAA. Then the first game of the night session will be the 2 losers, and then the 2 winners will play in the second game. As the next pitch is swung on, and she fouled that one back to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So here comes the 1-2 offering, swung on. That ball is popped up. The pitcher will squeeze it to end the inning, and another easy inning. So that's back-to-back innings with 3 up, 3 down. We are in the middle of the 5th inning. It's a 2-0 St. Albans lead. As we watch the replay, like I said, that was a very easy inning for the Lady Red Dragons. While we got a minute, we'll let you know about All Seasons Lawn and Landscape. Whether you need help with landscaping or you need a perfect manufactured lawn, call Chris Durkich at All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping. All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping, proud supporters of girls softball and the Ritchie County Lady Rebels. So we appreciate them. As we are going to the bottom of the fifth inning. I'm Maris Lowry here at Little Creek Park in South Charleston. St. Albans in the lead at 2-0. I also want to take this time there to talk about CBS equipment. CBS Equipment has over 30 years of experience in mining industry and is committed to supplying mining companies with reliable, innovative, quality equipment as well as top-notch customer service. CBS Equipment is a proud supporter of ladies softball, the state tournament here in 2021, and wish all the state tournament participants the best of luck. So we'll go to the bottom of the fifth inning. St. Albans still leading the ball game 2-0. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Holly, Stevenson, and Payne, as Holly will come to the dish for the third time. She's 1 for 2 with a hit and scored a run back in the first inning. And the pitch is swung on. This ball is hit in the gap. That's going to be over the heads. It'll roll not quite to the wall. Actually, it rolled out and then came back in, and that'll be a leadoff stand-up double as the throw comes in to third base. When we get a chance, that was a real kind of weird spin on how that ball went to the outfield. It looked like it was going to roll to the wall, and then it didn't. As we take a look, she got all of that. The ball was hit, and then it maybe just bounced off the wall. And that's what the ricochet, it bounced off the wall and rolled back. But that's a leadoff double. That's her second hit of the ball game. And the hitter Stevenson. And the pitch to her swung on. This ball's hit down the right field line, and that's going to fall in fair down the line. That'll get a run in. That'll increase the lead to 3-0. And rounding second and heading for third. And there's a triple for Stevenson and an RBI. So back-to-back extra base hits. And St. Albans adds another run on the board to take a 3-0 lead. So Payne will be the hitter. She's 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. St. Albans trying to add more to their lead. They've already pushed one across here in the fifth and got a runner at third, and the pitch is inside for ball 1. So if you're John Marshall, you got to think about, you got to cut that run off at the plate. You really can't afford to give up very many more runs because you've only got 6 outs left and just not really been able to muster much offense here in this game. Pitch swung on and fouled back. So the count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the 5th inning, and St. Albans has increased their lead to 3-0. They got 2 in the first, and they pushed another run across here in this 5th inning. As the next pitch is ball 2, so it's 2-1. So a leadoff double by Holly and then an RBI triple by Stevenson is added to St. Albans' lead here in the 5th inning. And here's the pitch. And that's swung on, and that ball is hit foul down the third baseline. Count evens at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. A run in already for St. Albans. And they got a runner at third, nobody out. And here we're ready for the 2-2 offering. And the pitch is inside for ball 3. So it'll be the payoff pitch coming. It's 3-2. No, the screen shows 3-1, but it is 3-2. Nobody out and a run already in for St. Albans, and they have a runner at third. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that's called strike 3. So that's a big out there. So for the second time in the ball game, Payne strikes out. And Jaden Conrad will be the hitter.
Number 12, Conrad.
He reached on a fielder's choice and reached on a base on ball. And here comes the pitch. That'll be high for ball one. St. Albans trying to go to 31-1 and advance here in this double elimination girls class AAA tournament. And here comes the pitch. And that's a called strike. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Now that runner, that's a big runner at third for the Lady Red Dragons, only 1 out. And here comes the 1-1 offering to Conrad. And this swung on a comebacker. The pitcher did a good job, checked the runner at third to be able to hold the runner and keep that runner at third and record the second out of the inning.
Now making her way to the batter's box.
So with 2 out,
Taylor Clancy.
it'll be Taylor Glancy coming to the dish. She's 2 for 2. They might want to think of maybe about walking her. But they're going to pitch to her with 2 outs because that's a big run over there on third base. And like I said, she's already got 2 hits on the day. And that pitch is high, ball 1. You know, having to score 3 runs, that's just tied. Needing to score. If they can hold them at 3 and then having to score 4, but they give up another run, that makes it really difficult having to score at least 5 runs with 2 at bats. And they haven't really mustered much offense, John Marshall here. As this pitch is swung on, and that's fouled down the third baseline. So count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Taylor Clancy, she digs in, and she awaits the 1-1 pitch. And here it comes. And that's swung on, hit to the second baseman, the throw to first, and they get out of it. But St. Albans does damage as they get a couple of hits. They score a run, and after 5, it is St. Albans now leading John Marshall by the score of 3-0 as you are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and video production.
After 5 full innings, home team St. Albans.
Welcome you back in here at South Charleston. You can see the line score there, 3-7-0 for St. Albans and 0-1-1 for John Marshall. John Marshall's got to get something going as we move to the top of the 6th inning, a 3-0 St. Albans lead. They do have the top of the order up, 1, 2, and 3. It'll be Blake, Kuntz, and Kins up. So Ava Blake will be the hitter. She's 0 for 2, struck out in the first, and she grounded out in the 3rd inning. And she'll hit here in the top of the 6th inning with St. Albans leading 3-0. The Lady Red Dragons got 2 in the first and 1 last inning in the 5th as the first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. So Blake, Kuntz, and Kins, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters here in the top of the 6th inning for John Marshall. This pitch will be low for ball 1, the count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll call you back. Call you back.
So here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's outside for ball 2. And here's the 2-1 offering. And swung on this ball. It's hit to the second baseman, able to field it cleanly, flip the ball to first. And that will record an out for John Marshall. John Marshall, that's the 8th straight batter that has gotten out for John Marshall. Not able to get any offense going. Good job. The pitcher for St. Albans is Stevenson, and she's retired the last 8 that she's faced. So with 1 out, nobody aboard, it'll be Kuntz, the hitter. Shelby Kuntz, the second baseman for John Marshall, and she takes a called strike. So the count evens at 1-1. And here's Stevenson ready to deliver the 1-1, and that's swung on and missed. Go to 1-2. But down 3-0, and down to their last 5 outs. John Marshall's got to get some base runners as this pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's 2 up, 2 down. So that's 9 in a row that have been retired by Stevenson, the St. Albans pitcher. And with 2 out and nobody aboard, it'll be Kins, the hitter. She's 0 for 2, struck out in the first and grounded out back in the 3rd inning. So down to their last 4 outs in this first semifinal game is John Marshall. And Stevenson's ready. Here's the pitch, and that's high and outside for ball 1.
Yes, we're going to bump it to 5:30.
And the pitch outside. At the conclusion of this game, we have a 30-minute break, and then the second semifinal game of this Class AAA girls softball tournament will be Washington and Cabell Midland. Here's the pitch. That'll be a ball. So the count's 3-0. With 2 out and nobody aboard here in the 6th inning. And John Marshall desperately needing base runners, trailing in the ball game 3-0. And taking all the way, there's ball 4. So Stevenson for St. Albans had retired 8 in a row till that. And the hitter now will be Pettit. She's 0 for 2, flied out to center field in the 2nd and flied out to right field in the 4th. And now we got a meeting on the mound here. So while we got a minute, CBS Equipment has over 30 years of experience in the mining industry and is committed to supplying mining companies with reliable, innovative quality equipment as well as top-notch customer service. CBS Equipment is a proud supporter of the 2021 Girls State Softball Tournament, wishing all the teams the best of luck. West Virginia teens are changing the game. West Virginia Game Changers is an innovative design to educate and support and empower the youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be the leaders of tomorrow. West Virginia Game Changer. So there's a discussion on the mound. I'm not sure if we're going to have a pitching change, and it looks like we may, and not. Yeah, maybe have a blister. Maybe that's why she's coming out, because she's pitched so well, the young lady for St. Albans, Stevenson. But looks like she is coming out as far as being a pitcher. We're going to have a change. So we're going to go ahead and take a break while we have the pitching change as you are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Been a pitching change, and this pitch is swung on. That ball is hit into left field. That's a base hit, and the runner is out at second. Even on a hit, the runner is out at second. So that's a force play, and that's how the 6th inning for John Marshall will end. So as we take a look at the replay, you don't see very many plays that where a player gets thrown out on a hit, but on the ball hit to left field, the runner is thrown out on the force play at second base. So in the middle of the 6th, St. Albans has a 3-0 lead as you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
We're ready to go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and St. Albans is in front 3-0. And for the Lady Red Dragons, be the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9, and Gilbert, Young, and Nunley. So Gilbert's 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flied out in the 3rd inning, and she leads things off in the 6th and fouls the first pitch back for 0-1. At the conclusion of this game, there'll be a 30-minute break, and then the next game will be Cabell Midland and Washington will be the two opponents in the next game of this Class AAA bracket. Here's the pitch, and this ball is bunted foul toward the third base line and toward the third base dugout there. So the count's 0-2. As I mentioned, the number 7, 8, 9 hitters up here for St. Albans. And Gilbert, Young, and Nunley. St. Albans trying to go to 31-1 if they can hang on and get the win here as they lead 3-0 in the ball game. And here's the pitch swung on. That is fouled back over the third base dugout. So 0-2 is the count. And here comes the 0-2 offering to Gilbert. And that's high, and she laid off of it. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And here comes the 1-2 offering. And that's way outside, count evens at 2-2.
It's a good thing you kept it secret that you were off, because you'd have been up here.
So here comes the 2-2 to Gilbert. Swung on. That ball is hit into the outfield and running over as the center fielder over toward left to haul it in and make the catch. That'll be the first out of the inning. And it'll be Young will now be the hitter.
Now left to bat for St. Albans, number 18, Sydney.
So Sydney Young is the hitter. She's 0 for 2. It's grounded out and struck out. And she'll bat with 1 out, nobody aboard. And the pitch swung on and fouled at the plate, 0-1. May have fouled that off herself. So 0-1 to count. 3-0, as you can see, the lead for St. Albans. Batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 outs away when they go back in the field in the top of the 7th. And it'll be 5, 6, and 7 hitters up for John Marshall when that happens, as this pitch is inside. So if you're John Marshall, you've got to hold St. Albans to right here. You cannot afford to give up any more runs at all, because you know you got to score 3 to keep the game going as of now. So the count, 1-1. And here comes the pitch. And it's out. It's called strike on the outside corner. 1-2 the count to Sydney Young. Here in the this pitch is swung on. It's a little number. The pitcher fields it, throws it to first. They can't make the play. I think that would be scored a hit. That ball wasn't hit very hard, and it was a tough play for the pitcher. We'll take a look at the replay to see how they'll score it. But I'm thinking it's a hit as we take a look at the replay. Yep, nope, maybe not. Once I look at the replay, even though the pitcher got to it in time, she threw the ball, and the ball was right in the mid of the first baseman, so I think they would score that an error. So I beg your pardon. So that will be the second error.
Batter for the Red Dragons, number 7, Olivia Dudley.
That'll be an error on each team. And that gets a base runner for St. Albans. Actually, that's the second error on John Marshall. I beg your pardon there. Here's square to bunt and called strike. Olivia Nunley, the hitter. So Nunley trying to move the runner over, trying to sacrifice her over with 1 out in the 6th inning and a 3-0 lead. Let's see if she'll square to bunt again. And she does not. She's swinging, and this ball is hit down the third base line and out of play. So the young lady Nunley in the hole at 0-2 with 1 out in the 6th inning, a 3-0 lead. Trying to advance the runner at first, who reached on an error. So here comes the 0-2 offering to Nunley. And that's way outside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And I think she held up, and she did. The count will even to 2-2. So here comes the 2-2 pitch, and this is outside for ball 3. And now we've gone to the payoff pitch. So with a runner at first and 1 out, count's gone full to Olivia Nunley. She got a hit back in the first inning and grounded out in the 4th. She's 1 for 2. So waiting on the payoff pitch. And here it comes. Swung on. This ball's hit to the shortstop. They'll flip to second for the lead runner. They'll get the out at second. They won't be able to turn the double play, though. But they do get the lead runner. That'll be a fielder's choice, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So with 2 out, we'll get back to the top of the order. A 3-0 St. Albans lead. As I mentioned, when we go to the top of the 7th for John Marshall, they will have 5, 6, and 7 hitters up in the lineup as this pitch is going to be outside for a ball. St. Albans got 2 in the first. They got a run in the 5th. They've really been in command the whole way and leading the ball game 3-0. Trying to advance to the winner's bracket. Trying to go 31-1 on the year. The pitch is swung on. This ball is a fair ball hit right to the first baseman. They'll go right to the bag to retire the side. We've played 6 full innings in this girls class AAA semifinal. It is a 3-0 St. Albans lead as you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA softball tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
After 6.
Welcome back in as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. You can see the line score there. St. Albans 3-7-0. John Marshall 0-1-2. And St. Albans is 3 outs away from advancing here in this double elimination Class AAA girls softball tournament. As for John Marshall, they'll here in the top of the 7th, they'll have the 5th, 6th, and 7th hitters up. And leading things off will be Tessa Wise. She's 1 for 2. Got a hit back in the 2nd, and she flied out in the 4th. So Wise will lead things off here in the top half of the 7th inning. St. Albans trying to close in on their 31st victory of the year and move into the winner's bracket here in this Class AAA division of the girls softball tournament. So Wise hits.
You got to turn them on.
We're ready to go. St. Albans 3 outs away from advancing to the championship round of the winner's bracket. And Wise will take a strike to start the 7th inning. 0-1. Wise, Cumbridge, and Adkins, the scheduled hitters. 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup for John Marshall. Here comes the pitch, swung on and fouled back. And Wise quickly in the hole at 0-2.
Get Wise
So 0-2 the count to Tessa Wise. She's set ready and in the pitch, and that's inside. She stays alive. The count is 1-2. At the conclusion of this game, there will be a 30-minute break, and then the second semifinal. It'll be Washington from the Eastern Panhandle taking on Cabell Midland. Then the loser of this game will play the loser of that game, and the winner of this game, obviously the winner of that game, is the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed strike 3. So there's the first out of the 7th inning, and St. Albans is 2 outs away from advancing to the championship game of the winner's bracket, as Cumbridge will be the hitter. She reached on the fielder's choice and grounded out.
Next up to bat for John Marshall, number 13.
So John Marshall down to their final 2 outs as they trail in the ball game, and they need base runners as this pitch is inside for ball 1.
Can you come over here and run this or go set the
Cumbridge choking up on the bat a little bit there, and here comes the pitch, and that's swung on, and that ball's hit to the second baseman. It's fielded, throw to first, and that's the second out of the 7th inning. So down to their final out. Here's John Marshall. It'll be Sophia Atkins who struck out and grounded out, 0 for 2.
touching the cable is what they're doing.
So 1 out away for St. Albans of winning this ball game and advancing to the championship bracket, the winner's side, and going 31-1. And the pitching performance has been outstanding here this morning on into the afternoon.
Now to the box for John Marshall, number 20, Joey.
So there's a strike, count 0-1. And there's the 0-1 offering, and that's outside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. John Marshall only able to muster up 1 hit. They've committed a couple errors. St. Albans put 2 across in the first, 1 in the 5th, a 3-0 lead, and trying to close the deal here as the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 strike away is St. Albans from advancing to the championship game of the winner's side. And here's the pitch, swung on and missed strike 3, and that's the ball game. Your final score is St. Albans 3 and John Marshall nothing. So St. Albans with the victory will await the winner between Cabell Midland and Washington, while the loser of that game will take on John Marshall, which is the loser of this game. The final line score, as you see, St. Albans 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. John Marshall, no runs, only 1 hit. They committed a couple errors. Final score, St. Albans wins the game 3-0. You are watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Did Independence win that game? Oh, I don't know who won. That's what I say. I just saw the score. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oakland won.
Oakland won 5-0. Yeah. And we welcome you back to Little Creek Park here in South Charleston. I'm Maris Lowry, putting the final touches of this girls' Class AAA opening round game And St. Albans advances with a 3-0 victory, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. John Marshall, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. So there'll be a 30-minute break. The next game will be Cabell Midland against Washington. The loser of the Cabell Midland Washington will play John Marshall at approximately 5:30, and then the nightcap of the second session will be St. Albans taking on the winner of the next game of Cabell Midland and Washington. So with the win, St. Albans will advance their record to 31-1, and John Marshall will fall to 23-7. So once again, the final score: St. Albans defeats John Marshall 3-0. I'm Maris Lowry, and you have been watching live streaming coverage of the 2021 Class AAA Softball Tournament on the NFHS Network and Video Productions.